Hey everybody, and welcome back to a new video. So this is the Sunday Q&A catch-up video or update video, or however we want to put it. But anyway, thanks for tuning in today, guys. So this is the video where I answer you guys' questions that you put into the comments for me. I tried to go through all the questions. There were so many while I was gone, so thank you guys so very, very much. I hope I got everybody's question. If I missed any, just make sure you put it in the comments for me this week, and I'll make sure to get on that for you guys next week. So again, I apologize if I missed your question. Just put it in the comments below like you guys always do. Just make sure you use hashtag, I don't care, Q&A, or put in there for the question of the week, or however you want to put it. It doesn't matter to me. So anyway, let's get right into our video here. So quick update. Let's see. How did you guys like the JJRC blue crab? Did you like that one? I thought it was a pretty cool little drone. So I really liked it a lot. This is the first time I really got to review this one. So I really enjoyed flying this one around. It was really, really cool. I liked it a lot. And so, yeah. But, okay. So also hoping that I can get out hopefully today and do some flying around with my racing drone. I'm going to actually try and attempt I'm going to hook up my action camera to the front of it and kind of aim it a little bit, so that way when I'm flying I can get some actual different footage for you guys. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm kind of getting the itch to fly, since I didn't get to fly too much last week while I was out of town. And then I'm also going to go ahead and fly the little F100 as well too, so I can kind of charging up the batteries right now. So I figured I'd just make the video for you guys. Let's see, next week I've got the MJX Bugs 3 coming in, so I'm going to do a review on that, and then I'll do a flight video. And thank you guys for the feedback that I asked for from not last week but the previous week on did you guys like the new video format that I'm doing, where I just do the unboxing first and then I go in and do the flight video second, because I know not everybody wants to watch the unboxings first. Some people just want to watch the flight video. They want to see how it performs. But some people want to see what's in the box, what they get if they're going to buy it. So, or some people want to see how it does first, and then they'll go back and then they'll watch the unboxing. So I might do that too. I might do a flight video first, and then I might come back and do the unboxing. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me get some opinions. Would you like to see maybe the flight first and then the unboxing second? Well, I don't know. That's a good question. So let me know what you guys think about that one. So yeah, so we got the MJX Bugs 3 coming next week. I also have on order a new racing drone frame that I ordered, and that is on its way here from California. So I should come in next week, I hope. Yeah, so we'll get that, and then I'll review that frame as it comes in. And then I think I've got one more drone coming. Not sure when it's gonna get here. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. I don't know exactly. So, but I do know those definitely are the two things that are coming in this coming week: the MJX Bugs 3, and then also that new racing frame. So got those two. So I really look forward to doing the MJX 3. I know it's been out for a while, but I haven't been able to get my hands on it. I would really like to do a comparison and compare it to the Bugs 2, the one with the GPS, compared to that one, and kind of see what kind of mods we can do with the MJX Bugs 3, because you guys know I love doing mods. So yeah, so look forward to those videos coming next week. Also, I was thinking about maybe on Monday or Tuesday throwing in another video for you guys. What about if on like Monday or Tuesday we do like I don't know, we'll call it like FPV Monday or FPV Tuesday or something like that. And what we'll do is when I take the race drone out and fly it around, I'll just throw up an extra video for you guys so you can see some of how I'm doing and everything like that. I'm starting to learn how to fly in the Horizon and the acro mode, so I'm starting to get used to some of the flips and things like that as I'm just doing it very slowly. I don't want to just jump into it and break this, drone or anything like that. So, but getting better at it. I hope you guys enjoy the FPV stuff. It's a blast. It is so much fun. If you haven't gotten into the racing drones, man, I definitely highly suggest it. Check them out. They're so much fun. So anyway, let's get into our questions of the weeks. So the very first question came from JonC. So John, thank you very much. He posts a lot of questions. So he wants to know what type of drones fly best in the cold. He said it's like the temperature limits on them. So there's really no really good drone that you can fly in the cold. I don't fly my drones unless it's at least 35 degrees or higher. And the only ones I fly out in the cold when it's that cold is I typically only fly my DJI Phantom, just because they're a much hardier drone. Keep in mind, if you're going to fly in cold weather, that your batteries are definitely affected by the cold and the electronics as well. So what you want to do is, if you can, try and keep your batteries as warm as you can before you take them out, and also the aircraft as well. Try and get it warm, keep it warm, and then just keep in mind, if you normally get like a 10-15 minute battery, you're probably going to get maybe half of that when it's really cold like that. So just keep that in mind. Keep track of those batteries, because when it is cold weather like that, the cold will zap that battery really super quick. Same with the heat in the summertime. You really have to keep an eye on your batteries, not just because they drain quicker, but also because they get hot too. So you have a little bit different. In the wintertime, they can get really cold, and the aircraft can kind of sometimes, depending on the weather, it can zap the battery, but then it can also perform a little weird too as well. So, you kind of get a little bit of both. So hope that answered your question, John. The next question comes from Dwinnable. He's also posted quite a few questions, so thank you, Dwinnable. He wants to know, can I expand on the use of the Before You Fly app? Is putting your flight plan in enough to notify air traffic control if you plan to fly within 5-mile radius? So that's kind of a two-part question. So I don't use the Before You Fly app. To me, it's not a very good app. The one that I use is AirMap. AirMap is a really great app. It's free, and it's a lot better, in my opinion. And then also the other app that I use is called Hover, and Hover tells me about the KP index. So if you don't know what KP index is, that's the sun's ultraviolet rays. If it's above, I think it's a 5 or a 6 for the day, then you don't want to fly, because those ultraviolet, basically the sun flare, can interrupt with the GPS and the electronics and cause flyaways. So that's why I use that as a secondary backup, and it kind of just tells me the wind and the weather and things like that are going on. So, so they're working on a plan. It's called the LAANC. I forget what the acronym is, but it's an automatic authorization. It's really meant for Part 107 pilots, but it's also meant for hobbyists as well. So they're working on that. There's only like 5 airports right now that are in the beta program. There's one in I think Kentucky, San Jose, California, and there's like 3 other major airports that are using that automatic authorization. It's working with AirMap, and there's one other app out there, I can't remember the name of it, that is using that automatic authorization. Basically, you go in there, you tell it how high you're going to fly, where you're going to fly, how long you're going to fly, and then you send it to the airport, and you get an immediate authorization, either a yes or a no. And it all depends on, if you look at the facility map, you can go in there and you can see on the grid, where you should be flying, close to the airport, things like that. Now, obviously, if you want to fly over like the runway of the airport, you're not going to get an authorization for that. But if you're just flying like 50 feet, just to like film like a house or something like that, you can probably get authorization for like 10-15 minute flight, stuff like that. So I hope that helps you. I used the Before You Flight when I first started out, but it's not that great of an app. And maybe if they improve on it, I might try it out again, but I really use AirMap. That's my favorite app that I use to check everything like that. So when you're flying within a 5-mile radius of a of an airport, being a hobbyist flyer, what you have to do is you just basically have to call the airport, and you're giving them notification. You're saying, hey, this is, John Smith, I'm over here at, 9th and 3rd Street or wherever you're at the park. I'm going to be flying for about a half an hour at, 50 feet. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be flying. And as a hobbyist, all you have to do is just call them and let them know that you're going to be flying, and that's it. So, in some of the smaller airports, you may not, actually get to get a hold of someone. With being a Part 107, depending on where it's at and things like that, I don't always have to call the airport. Sometimes, like, there's a local airport here in my town that encompasses pretty much 98% of the entire town, but it's Class G airspace, and Class G airspace, I don't even have to notify the airport. Now, being a hobbyist, you'd probably want to call them and let them know. Sorry for the cracking noise. My son's room is right directly above me, and this is a really old house, and the floors tend to squeak, so if you guys hear that noise, I apologize for that ahead of time. You always hear that whenever they're walking around upstairs, so apologize for that. Okay, so hope that answers your question. Nick South, he's also posted quite a few questions, so thank you, Nick, for your question. So Nick wants to know, as the channel grows and progresses, what are my ideas for the channel in the future? So I plan on continuing to do lots of drone reviews. That's kind of like my thing. That's how I've started out. That's really what I like to do. I like to show you guys, budget drones, toy drones, anything that I think that you guys might be interested in, buying, or just anything in general, because, my show kind of really covers everything from small toy grades, the minis, the nanos, all the way up to the DJI quality, stuff like that. Although I can tell you this, I think really the channel is kind of going to go more towards getting into the racing drones, because I'm really liking the racing drones. It's really fun. It's a blast. If you guys haven't, even if you get one of these just like little guys, like the F100, just to test it out, I'm telling you, racing with the goggles and flying line of sight. I still love flying line of sight with my DJI Phantoms, and I love making videos for customers and things like that. But this is so much more fun. You're immersed in the experience, and it's a blast. So if you guys haven't tried it, you got to do that. So again, I'm kind of thinking that I might do more of the racing stuff like that. And then I also had a lot of people have asked me in the past, do I sell drones, or do I sell parts, or do I do anything like that? And I've been kind of throwing that idea out there, maybe as a part of my business, to maybe start, as I get maybe a few more of these built, and I'm starting to get good at it, maybe I can offer that as a service, as building race drones. And if you guys are interested in that, I have no idea. So if you're interested in something like that, leave that down in the comments for me so I know. Yeah, just let me know what you think, because I am kind of interested in maybe getting into the building aspect of it. That way maybe I can have my own line or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. So I hope that answers your question, Nick. The next question came from Randy Lynn. Randy is a new viewer, and I haven't seen a question from him yet. So Randy, thank you for the question. I appreciate that. So Randy wants to know, how do you install a beeper on a flight board that has no plug for it? So if the flight board doesn't have the option for a beeper, then that flight board probably is not compatible with a beeper. And but there is a way around that. So if you guys have never seen one of these before, what this is this is a low battery voltage beeper. It's an external battery beeper. So how this works is, let me grab one of my 3S drone batteries for my racing drone. So it's really easy. This plugs directly into the charge port. So you would have this plugged into the racing drone like normal, and on the back here you see it's got a little plus on this side and a little minus on that side. So what you do is you take your negative side and you plug it into the negative side all the way at the very end here. Alright, this is going to be loud, so just a warning. So you plug it in, and it comes up like that, and it says 3 cell all, and it actually tells you how much voltage you have in each one of the cells of the battery. And then what you can do is there's a little button up here on the top, and then what you can do is you can go like this, and you can tell it how much voltage you want it to see. You can go all the way up to, I think it's, what is it? I think you can go all the way up to 3.8 volts, all the way down to 2.7 volts. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing 2.7 volts. I have all my batteries set at 3.5 volts, and so it tells me exactly. So when it starts getting at 300, I can't talk today, guys, sorry. When it gets to 3.5 volts, this will start beeping, and it's got 2 beepers on there, you notice. And this sucker is loud. So when my racing drone's up in the air, so what I do typically is have it like this. So I have the battery mounted up on the top like that, like usual, and then I have this guy plugged in, and then I usually use like a little bit of Velcro, and I just put it right on the front there and just plug it in, just like that. And then so that way when it's zooming around, flying around, this thing's not flopping around, hitting the propellers. It's nice and Velcroed on the front. And then that way, when the voltage on the battery gets low, it will notify me, and that way I know to get the drone back right away. Because you don't want to drop the voltage down too much on these, because if you drop it too much on these, you can fry out the cell and the battery won't be any more good. So Randy, I hope that answers your question for you. And these are actually really inexpensive. You can find them on Amazon for like $2 or $3 a piece. Sometimes you can find them in packs of like 5, and they're really super cheap and really inexpensive. So I'll leave a link down in the description for you guys. You can check these out if you want out on Amazon. It's a good way. Like I said, if your flight controller does not support a beeper, or you don't have an option to install a beeper, you can always use one of these external ones, and it's just as good. It's actually a little bit louder than a internal beeper that you would use on like the flight board, because it's got the double, so it's really super loud. I've had my race drone way out there and been able to hear it pretty good, so not too bad. So Randy, hope that answers your question for you. So guys, I hope that answers all the questions. Again, if I missed somebody's question, make sure you leave it down in the comments for me. Just use hashtag Q&A, QA, however you want to put it down there, just so that I know that you've got a new question coming up there. So thanks guys for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate all the awesome comments and support. I try and read each and every one of those questions. Sometimes, like last week, I get just really far behind because I was out for the week, but I'm back. I shouldn't be taking any vacations anytime soon. Halloween's coming up here, so guys, happy Halloween. Have fun and be safe out there. And yeah, that's all I have for this week. So while you're waiting for the next video, let's keep our drones up in the air and flying high, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for hanging out with me this Sunday. Have an awesome day.